Hi Jazz,
Hello,
how you
Chris. Yeah, good,
going?
good, good.
Um, so how would somebody work towards opening their third eye?
Good question. And so many people try to open their third eye. So many people spend a lot of time trying to work it out. There are several different things that one can do, and meditation is definitely one of them,
Yes.
which a lot of people start out with and work with and start to do meditation. Meditation, diet, walks in nature, going and connecting with countryside, connecting with the trees, connecting with the grass, connecting with the rivers. You know, nature is very powerful for working and opening with the third eye. Having foods that are quite light, you know,
Right.
maybe more nut and plant-based diets, and so that you're not feeling like really heavy, you
No.
know, with dense foods. The other thing is quiet time, solitude time. It's very important. Just being, you know, spending time with yourself, listening to yourself, listening to your thoughts, listening to you know, hearing that inner voice, which will then allow you to start to see with the inner eye and the ultimately, you know, the third eye, which is the inner eye basically. So the more that you involve yourself into spiritual practices, the more it will help you to open up the third eye. I do weekly meditation journeys on Wednesdays, and I have
Is that in a group?
a group here in Bedford. I do it every Wednesday lunchtime, 12:30. I do meditation journeys.
Oh, brilliant.
And I've had a guy that has been coming regularly, you know, weekly.
Yes.
And I've noticed over the weeks how much he has been opening up. He's beginning to experience things, see things. His third eye is opening up more and more.
That's brilliant.
Some of the other things you can do is breath work, visualizations, and sort of like doing breath work so that, you know, you can, there is lots and lots of different breath work, pranayama techniques, for example, circular breathing, nostril breathing. Because I do the yoga.
Could you demonstrate? Because this is kind of the first I've heard of these kind of techniques. Would you explain?
Yeah, I
how?
can do. I can show you the nostril breathing, for example. So what you do is these two fingers, your ring finger and the next finger, go down, and so your thumb and the other two fingers are up. So what you do is you put your thumb over one nostril, and you breathe in up through the other nostril, okay? And then when you've taken the breath in, you close the other nostril and you let the breath come out through that nostril. And then what you do is you take the breath in again through that nostril, and when the breath is up, you close that nostril and you start to bring the breath back down on this side, okay? So you keep doing that. So breathing in, breathing out.
So it's really going through the system.
Yeah, breathing in, breathing out. See, what this does is it clears your sinuses, and it clears all your pathways and energy centers, your nadis, they all start to get clear. And what that does then, it starts to, you know, open up
Yes.
your sort of, by opening up all your senses, you're opening up your third eye, you know.
And I could see the health properties in that as well.
Oh, absolutely. So many, you know, because when you're breathing out, you're releasing
Yes.
all the unwanted
Yes.
stuff. You know, that's kind of the energy that's clogging you. So you're releasing that energy. You're letting go. Yeah.
So would you say these kind of meditations is good for somebody who's got such a busy life that they almost find it hard to make time for themselves? Would you say it's somebody...
Even if you've got a busy life, you know, that nostril breathing, you can do it sitting on the toilet.
Yes.
Nostril breathing, you can do, you know, take 5-10 minutes at time out and do it like, you know, and just sort of like deep breathing, bastrika, you know, like breathing in and out. You know, you can do that anywhere while you're watching TV, for example, or if you're waiting for a meeting, you could be doing this deep breathing. And that really helps to calm you down and you know, release stress. And
is it a lot like when, you know, when women are pregnant and they'll breathe in and out to cope with the pain and that? Is it the same kind of thing, or?
Well, all sorts of breathing techniques are helpful in terms of pain and stress, and but if you're talking about the bastrika, which is deep breathing, so you know, just following the breath and following your abdomen, so you put your hand on your abdomen and you can feel the abdomen come out and then go in as you breathe in and out.
Right.
That helps you to start to sort of really get a feel for breath work. And then there is another one that I do with a lot of clients in terms of you know, making changes. It's a circular breathing where you know, but I get them to do that lying down because your head can start to feel a bit giddy.
Right. Because it's such deep breaths.
Well, it's kind of like works, on a very deep physiological level.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
So it's better if the person is lying down. So for the third eye expansion, you know, there are so many techniques, but you've got to be doing them if you know your intention is. But I find that, you know, even with the hypnotherapy, it starts to open the third eye. Wow. I find that even in my classes working with students, you know, when students have never done meditation or hypnotherapy before, and suddenly they come on my course and they start to you know, experience hypnosis, because that's all about closing, you know, your eyes and breathing. There's a lot of breath work with hypnosis, and suddenly, you know, students start saying, I saw colours, and I saw images, or I experienced my dead relative come to me, or something like that. That is all signs that the third eye is opening. You know, that the third eye is beginning to expand, and through it expanding, you're beginning to see things and experience things.
Would you say, like, because I've noticed, kind of studying, you know, from this field, that there's a lot of spiritual people in counselling and hypnotherapy. Is that one of the reasons why, you know, spiritual people are drawn?
Could be. I mean, you know, people obviously come to do hypnosis for all sorts of reasons.
Yes.
Hypnosis is a much more sort of structured therapeutic way of taking you know, people into their inner world, inner journey, and hypnosis really gets a lot of results.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I work, you know, with age regression, past life regression, you know, working with in lots of different ways. You know, I've even worked with clients with hypnosis on entity removal. Right. You're removing energies from our system, you know, but this is through hypnosis. So the darker energies, you know, that we've talked about before.
Yes.
Yeah.
I must admit, every time I've had the experience of hypnotherapy, I've always found it's very relaxing. You know, maybe even more relaxing than meditation. It has more of a comfort to it in stages, you know.
Absolutely. A lot of people that start to experience hypnosis, they do find that it starts to relax them in a much deeper way than they've ever relaxed.
Yeah.
And when you go to those levels of deep relaxation, you're getting in touch with your deeper inner self.
Yeah, you're really
and
connecting.
that is then your third eye opening.
Amazing.
You know? Yeah. So these are all techniques and
Yes.
ways to help, you know, with the expansion of opening up the third eye. And basically, what the third eye really is us being in touch with, you know, our inner world, our self, who we are, and then how we see things, you know, on the internal side, the inner journey, the inner world, as well as the outside, because the eyes, the physical eyes that we have, help us to see the external world, whereas the inner eye helps us to see our internal world. And so, you know, with a lot of the things that I've mentioned, and especially the hypnosis, it helps us to go into our inner world and internal world.
Yes.
And see that more and more.
So,
know?
what would you say is a good starting time for meditating?
Time.
Yeah, like how much time would a person want to achieve on a meditation?
If, you know, even if you start with 5 minutes,
Yeah.
it's the starting. People always come up with excuses. Oh, I don't have time, or, you know, I don't know how to meditate. You don't need to know how to meditate. You don't need time. Just 5 minutes of being, you know, that's how it starts. Once you start doing it, you will know yourself. You will build up a hunger for it, and you will want to do it more and more, you know, because I find that with students and clients, that once they get this taste, you know, of what it's like, that's it.
Yeah,
they want to do it more and
yeah.
more.
It's almost, you know, like you really feel that belonging. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So do you usually meditate without sound, or do you meditate with music, or?
I've done all sorts of meditations. I mean, like, I've done meditations with sounds, music, with no sounds, no music, just the natural sounds, just stillness.
Yeah.
You know? So it all depends what I'm trying to achieve, what my mood is, where I am, you know, all these things are relevant.
Because one of the things I noticed that when you meditate in silence is that silence is like really loud. Or is it just me? I don't know.
Yes, it can be. You know, when you're first starting out, and a lot of people find silence very difficult. You know, some people will fill the silences with almost everything that they can, because the last thing that they can cope with is silence. So, but you know, when you start to find the balance and the equilibrium,
Yes.
then you begin to find peace in the silence, which is what it's about.
And that's got to be so good for the system, the soul, you know, deep within the person.
Absolutely.
Do you think it's a good way of dealing with trauma, or getting past that trauma?
What, the silence or the meditation?
The meditation.
Oh, absolutely. Gosh, yeah. Meditation is just so good for everything, not just trauma, but everything. It's supposed to be a way of life, so that, you know, whatever comes our way, we can deal with it.
Yeah. The other thing, going back to the third eye, it's quite integrated in Asian culture, isn't it, and the history? Because I know what it's called, but I know in the Hindu belief where the lady wears the mark, the red mark.
Yes, because that's symbolic spiritually
Yeah.
of the third eye.
Yeah.
It's not just the ladies actually. If you go to temples, you'll see men
Right.
wear it
Right.
as well.
So they must have known, like, way back in the day, that how important the third eye was.
Yes, because it does originate from the information given to us by the ancient rishis and yogis who developed the chakra system.
Yeah.
Comes from the yogic path of, like the nadis, the energy systems, energy centers we have all throughout our body, and then we've got these chakra points. We've got loads of chakras, but we've got these main chakras, and that is, the third eye is a chakra point. It's an energy center, and so it's part of the whole Hindu spiritual philosophy and development. And so the women, yes, they wear the red circle, but so do the men who do lots of, like the priests in the temples. And
yes.
When you go to a Hindu temple and you certain things, priest will put a kumkum, sort of red mark on your forehead.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so
is that like a blessing, or?
Yes, it's like that we're all connected.
Yes.
Through the third eye.
Yes.
It's our psychic energy centres, and that we are all spirit. It's a reminder that we are all spirit.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So that's what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I believe that we are all spiritual beings in the physical.
Yes, and so those blessings that we receive with the red powder on our forehead, it is very much a reminder that we are spirit.
Yeah. And I suppose in a way, like you say, it's a good way to stay connected and to remember our loved ones have or gone back to the spirit world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So maybe next another time we can do a session, and I'll show how I can show how we can do a ceremony.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
Put the red powder on.
Yeah.
Cum.
Yeah, and I would have to come with you one time and record.
Session at the temple.
Yeah. Or a fire ceremony.
Oh yeah, the fire ceremony.
Yeah,
definitely. Come.
Yes.
See if you can make it on the 28th.
That'd be brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
It's been a brilliant session with JazSaro.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, and please subscribe. Thank you.
And don't forget to link in to come to the workshop or other workshops that you may be interested in.
Details are below. Thank you.
Like a bird on a tree,